Ladies and gentlemen, we're into game 2 of NiP versus Virtus.pro. NiP down 1-0. You could say that's pretty expected, but these Swedish boys are not done yet. I think they're going to bring their A game, or continue to bring their A game, and hopefully for them, they have a better draft this time.
Yeah, it is a best of 5. There's still quite a way to go for both teams, and this is the real challenge for NiP once again to try to adapt. They adapted from the series yesterday. It was not good enough. How did they adapt during the series? They've chosen to give VP, in my opinion, maybe their best hero. The Leshrac for G has been phenomenal. They also put on Illidan from time to time. Works out very well. The trade-off, Gyro and Shaker.
I'm actually very comfortable with NiP getting Gyro. First, it's one of the heroes that Era plays extremely well. We saw, at least in the last game, how much damage Illidan was able to do with the call down. The other thing is that Virtus.pro loves to pick the Visage. And Flat Cannon is kind of a very good way, once you have enough damage, you just mow down the bird in the fight. So I wonder if Virtus.pro is going to get somewhat scared picking the Visage. At least in one of the games yesterday, they're like, yeah, Havos, you have Gyro, we don't care. We'll still give Little or Visage. But it's just one of those neat interactions that NiP could benefit from if Virtus.pro picked the Visage for Little.
Yeah, they don't mind 5th picking it either. But that's what they did yesterday. Is at the end of the draft.
Which, by the way, some of the 5th picks in this tournament are just like absolutely dominating, right? Talked about the Brood, the Chens especially. So we'll see if that's going to continue to be the trend.
I think if you're NiP now, you consider banning out Shaker, or sorry, Centaur or Darkseer, and maybe grabbing the other to put DK Phobos in a little less of a comfortable position. Centaur is actually pretty decent against Leshrac. You can stampede out of the Lightning Storm. He has a lot of burst, spell burst. When you jump in, you will be able to kill the Lesh. It could be a possibility. They are, however, going to ban out the Wyvern, which I think is also a good ban, so not going to disagree with that. And grab the Disruptor for themselves, and
there's that Visage. Don't care.
The Prophecy.
Here's the thing. I feel that NiP did a very good job controlling DK Phobos last game. Despite him on a fairly tanky offlaner, they almost killed him that one time. Before it was, I think, Winter River came in and saved him. But after that, they repeatedly killed him. In fact, I don't think he got level 6 till like 10 minutes in, or maybe even a little bit later. But despite of all of that, Virtus.pro still made a very strong mid game, and I think that's where NiP needs to strike. And I think having heroes like Disruptor, Gyrocopter, and Earthshaker, these 3 heroes, NiP has opened it with many times in the past. They just really love this long range kind of fight where you Fissure, you Static Storm, and you call down, and the spells just really chain together very nicely.
They have a solution for Lesh, which is nice.
Yeah.
I think the times in this tournament that Lesh Shaker have been picked together, they've won, or done very well at the very least. But now that they have the Shaker themselves, it's a good way of cutting off Lesh when he starts chasing and aggressing in. Disruptor worked for them against Alliance when Alliance played Lesh plus Naga.
Yeah, this was the lineup where they got triple Midas.
Yes.
It was off-lane or Earthshaker instead of a support Shaker.
Earthlane option. That sounds good. I like that. Earthlane.
As the day progresses on, the roomy English also continues to progress.
That's good.
All right, so the other core that NiP picked yesterday with this lineup was the Shadow Fiend, and Virtus.pro will take it out.
I do not think that's the pick here. It's also banned. So, well, then it's definitely not the pick. Let's look at alternatives. I think the Puck is a possibility again, if they want to try for that to fight. Still makes sense for me, especially if they do run the Shaker as a support and their offlaner can be somewhat of a physical DPS. But
apart from Puck, what's the best laner you could throw at Lesh in the mid lane? That's still in the draft.
Oh, it depends. Is the purpose just to beat Lesh in lane? Or, okay, well, we'll get the Ogre first, so they'll have some time to think. Like, if it comes to beating Lesh in lane, I think very few heroes actually do beat him. What comes to mind? I think OD can do it, but no one plays that at all.
Right, yeah.
He can. It's not a stomp, I think, compared to against other ints. Lesh can still farm a bit with Lightning Storm. But then VP could just swap their lanes and put Razor mid now.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's one of the really big strengths of Leshrac now is that he just tends to never lose his lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Razor's a very nifty pickup here for VP. We saw them playing it yesterday against Na'Vi. But straight into Ogre pick, who has just all single target spells.
Yeah.
You're going to get purged a lot of time, and that Bloodlust is going to get purged off.
Disruptor, 2 single target spells as well. And Gyro, homing missile. Yay. I actually saw that on Hvost yesterday. He used a homing missile on Razor and almost got him killed. It's kind of a funny moment. I do believe he lived though. So.
I believe he actually maxed it out.
Yeah, he did
Yeah.
in that game.
I'm actually a big proponent of at least getting one single point.
Absolutely.
I've seen some carry just completely skips it.
I think most games where gyros don't get that 1 point homing missile, you're like, okay, how much is that 2 in all attributes really doing apart from, you know, even if the homing missile gets destroyed, then it absorbs 3 attacks or
Sure,
it creates
yeah.
some chaos and confusion, and it can maybe stop a TP with the right timing, or it can break a Linken's, you know, like there's so much, it just zones out support, like, many advantages to getting that, at least that one value point. So I definitely think that's worth it. I would agree though that in many cases it's not worth to level it up to 4.
10 seconds remaining.
All right, so we are down to our mid pick. Unless this is some next level. Okay, no, it's Lina mid.
Yeah, that's actually a decent hero against Lesh. I think this is a fairly even matchup. Both of them can spam out the lanes with Dragon Slave and Lightning Storm respectively. When it comes to ganking this game, I think NiP definitely have good gank potential against the Leshrac. They not only have Ogre and Disruptor as the support duo, but technically their Shaker can also rotate from bottom lane, and when he goes missing, Leshrac needs to be very careful with his positioning. So I like this a lot from NiP from the start. I think they have a better draft than game 1. I think they have a better draft against the opponent. And this is a game they more or less have to win. Doing the reverse all kill in a best of 5 where you're already not the favorite going into the series, or
But that's the
maybe
hype, though.
slightly not
That's
even
the hype.
Yeah, that's true.
It's all kill.
If they do it, it's quite the story. They have to win this game.
Yeah. And the draft is looking pretty good. I think the supports are allowed to make the big plays. Ogre, Disruptor, these are very strong early game supports that could run at you and force kills. And now we're looking at the final pick here for the off lane of Virtus.pro. Clockwork's taken out, Centaur's taken out. What about Darkseer? It doesn't necessarily combine with this team too well, but it's definitely a decent enough laner in this situation, right?
It's just a hard lane for Darkseer. Disruptor, Ogre, and Gyro will own him. He has to jungle, which is okay, I guess. He could just do that. But I have a feeling VP wants to try something else, because they don't have their classic combos with Darkseer. Sure, they have Lesh, but that's pretty much it. Like, apart from that, they've had other heroes they had liked to run with Darkseer that they don't have. I'm wondering what's a good idea here.
Is there any possibility of VP going offensive and then picking something in the safe lane for
they could actually do that.
DK Phobos?
Their tri lane is pretty strong. Rubik Visage Razor is nothing to be scoffed at, but it's always hard to run aggressive tri lane into Gyro, and he's one of the carries in lane that even if you drain his damage with Static Link, he still provides something. All right.
Okay, they're
You
gonna
know
go
what?
with Darkseer.
All right, sticking to their guns.
I mean, it's a hero that they know.
Sure.
And vacuum into what bird stuns, I guess. Message.
Vacuum
into Lesh stun is
Lesh stun.
yeah.
That's just super hard to combine, but it's possible, of course. And they might be thinking, you know what? If we don't have our usual combo like vacuum into Fissure, why don't we just vacuum into Stolen Fissure?
Sure.
If they have
Why
the
not?
right spell steal, Darkseer's actually going to be incredibly powerful. And there's a lot of spells that actually synergize really well with it on the other team that Rubik can steal. Call Down, Fissure, Kinetic Field, or Static Storm, Lina Stun, Dragon Slave. Like, you know, he could almost steal anything and he could combine with Darkseer. So with that in mind, I actually kind of like it here after all.
All right, so let's quickly introduce the players on both sides. Virtus.pro up 1 game in this best of 5 series. FNG playing that Rubik, just heading down the mid lane for now. DK Phobos on that Darkseer. Razor on the bottom lane being handled by Illidan. Sorry, Weapus, I'm making you jump back and forth. Visage trailing a little bit behind. It's going to be handled by Little. And last but not least, G, which you guys were saying that this is his best mid hero, at least in this patch. I would definitely tend to agree. He had a very tough game yesterday, but it did not matter.
Yeah, it looks like I might have very short time to introduce NiP as they are looking for a gank. So we've got Seal Kid on Ogre, Era on Gyro, Limp on Lina, Jonas on Shaker, and Hanskin on Disruptor. They will be trying a wraparound here. They're in a really good position for VP, though. Illidan's position here is perfect, and he even has boots. So if they start walking in here, it's going to break. Oh, wait, Lil was not in the right position, though. Easy first blood for Ninjas in Pajamas. And it's going to go to Limp. Great advantage from the start for your mid laner to have a Null Talisman and almost bottle if he gets the bottom rune as well. It just needs like 2 or 3 CS.
So I think when Smoke was first introduced in Dota 2, people were always trying to do these kind of like all first man gank, like, and there wasn't I think a big debate whether it's worth it or not. But in this particular case, where he got the first blood and the next rune,
And they ward.
Yeah, it's hugely worth.
A tithe to the impurity.
Money to burn.
A great start for the NiP.
Yep. Lesh will get the lane for VP though, or the rune rather. So 1-for-1 bounty rune trade. That means the experience advantage for Limp is minimal, only 25 because of that kill. They split it 5 ways, but his gold advantage, of course, pretty significant.
So if you're playing Earthshaker in this case, you're not going to get anything done on the bottom. So I imagine you're going to spend most of your time trying to come in mid, but it seems like Virtus.pro is very well prepared. They have a fairly decent defensive ward, and they will spot out the Shaker coming in. The Fissure, though, actually, the stun hits on the front side, and G in a lot of trouble. All they need is the Fissure to stun, and they will get it off, and G will get... Oh, he
the
salves!
salve!
And he survives. Meanwhile, LSA misses on FNG, so a disastrous situation still, because now G's sitting in lane with 70 health, but at least he didn't die.
Yeah, and that was a rotation from the offlane Shaker as well. So that not being successful puts him in a pretty bad position in the bot lane.
Well, I don't think he's going to get anything done in bot lane.
It's possible, yeah. That is true. But with him leaving, they're still free to do what they want. He's actually going to wrap around again. And this one could very well work. FNG is in a really bad spot. That's an easy kill. They might even get both. If he gets the Fissure here onto G. Good damage, though, going the other way. Seal Kid could die here, but the Fissure's going to save him with the light strike. Not enough.
Great job by G, because a lot of players would have just ran back, but G realized all of the stuns has been used on his ally, so might as well pull forward, use the salve, and actually get a kill on the support. That puts him right back in this lane. And
he's actually winning it.
Yeah, now he's a bottle gold as well, so that's huge.
He is 8-4 against 1-0 after being ganked unsuccessfully, obviously, but still being pressured very hard. He is still winning the lane.
Actually, how is Lim not getting all these CS?
I think he's been using all of his mana that you would usually use on farming. He's been using it aggressively to try to find the kills instead of Dragon Slave farming the wave. And
her animation
just
is
outplayed him mechanically on the physical ones.
Yeah. Little gets Fissure Trap on the bottom side. Is he going to deny the rune? Yeah, he will. And cancel the clarity. Nicely done. How's our top lane doing? We expected Darkseer to have a very tough lane against the Gyrocopter, and you already see him running all the way back to base. And Era is going to be free farming. Would you argue that taking 1 point in homing missile, especially against a hero like Darkseer, is a good thing to have in the lane, or do you think it's just better to level it with Flak and Rocket Barrage?
It's nice when you're playing with Disruptor, I think, because you can start the homing missile and he has to run away, and then you glimpse him back into it.
Right.
And that makes it very easy to land, a follow-up kinetic field, get a little bit of extra damage out, and of course get the full Rocket Barrage. So I would definitely agree with getting 1 point. He's not going to do it for now, though. Anyway, Hanskin's only level 1 and has Thunderstrike, so this is an impossible kill. And Phobos will be getting 3 as a result here, I think, almost, from this creep wave. And the next one will be reaching in a fairly favorable position for him as well. Actually, that was enough for him. Put on the shell and the melee creep. And I don't think this laning stage is going all that well for NiP, to be honest. Even though they're ahead 3-1, getting this key kill in mid is, of course, going to be very useful. Limp actually soloing that. I was not looking for that. That was a very unlikely kill to happen, but
yeah, and they're not done.
Finds an opening.
If you look towards the support on the back line here, I believe they have a smoke on Ogre. They got double boots available. I think maybe perhaps getting another kill in the mid lane would be great, but looks like they're going for top, which Hanskin in a little bit of trouble right now. Here comes the Gyrocopter. The Rocket Barrage is going to do a ton of damage, a little bit of body block, but there's a glimpse. A level 1 glimpse will bring DK Phobos back. They have the Fissure available if he could get in position. Where's Johannes Van? On the low ground to high ground? No? Yeah, okay. The long range Fissure, and Era gets the kill. I mean, again, the argument is that Johannes Van is not on the bottom lane, so there's a free farm lane, but I think his game impact so far has been exceptional.
Yeah, these rotations are definitely working for NiP, but it's not giving them a lead. The game is dead even now, and they're 4-1. FNG, all right, that's greedy. Does not cliff him. This is probably going to be his death, trying to go for that Q play. He is gone. And Limp now 4-0. He is 9-2 on the CS against the 19-10 of Lesh, however. But NiP, after getting a couple kills, but losing out on the lanes pretty massively, I think they've recovered nicely, especially in the mid lane now for Limp.
And Lina is one of those heroes where if you get an early enough Yules, you could just take over a game. It really forces the enemy hand in terms of where to go. And now another LSA following the Fissure. G taking a ton of double damage, but it's uphill misses 2 in a row. G thanking his lucky stars a bit. Oh, actually, he's going to go for a
go.
No.
Not going for the third.
Well, Surge, he's going to go forward. Can he actually get the sight? It's nighttime, and he's going to die for it. Dive for it, not die for it. And G, perhaps a little bit of trouble now. But he does have Iron Shell, which will protect him a little bit from the creeps. Meanwhile, it's going to be Rubik rotating mid. There's just a Carnage on the mid lane. DK Phobos joining the fray as well. No mana for Fissure. It looks like this is going to be a kill going towards the way of FNG. Just a lot of rotation in both sides.
Classic VP early game. Just really running around looking for kills. NiP have got the better trades, though, so far. And It's still, they're behind on golden experience. I want to attribute most of it to the offlane, where Jonas, his rotations have, of course, helped a lot, but it is an expensive commitment.
Yeah, and the
DK
times
Phobos will be farming a lot more.
and the times when they've gotten these kills, it's like 3 or 4 heroes. So the experience and goal gain hasn't been the best.
And now, when it comes to comparing the offlaners, Jonas is almost as experienced as the Darkseer is, but the thing that is inevitably going to happen is Darkseer will outfarm him heavily. He's got 15 CS to the 1 of Shaker. He got a lot of it in the lane, and now he can just jungle if he desires to do that.
Yep.
Will definitely be pulling ahead. So NiP need to keep the momentum up. They need to use Limp even more aggressively with his now picked up Laguna Blade. We'll be looking at the bottom rune as well, by the way. It's I don't remember the last time I've seen this. The mid hero is 4-0, and he's 13 CS minute 6. Like it's been all about the kills for NiP mid rather than focusing on creep farm, whereas VP have got a little bit of a hybrid going, and the safe laners are fairly even. So Illidan marginally out farming the gyro. By the way, Illidan is 34 denies. He's just been all right.
Well, he's
trying
in
to set records.
This is one of those, like, single player mode, log in and try to practice your last hits, because that's exactly what he's doing. I do have to say though, despite them not farming well, again, this is a very different look from NiP, right? Like, they're just turning their normal farming oriented early game into a very gank heavy one. It's working. The thing is, in the past, when NiP gets a lead like this, they're not the best at holding on to it. They generally kind of just give it up in the mid game. So, like you said, they need to continue the aggression, get the key picks. The Laguna Blade's been online for a while now, but just really no opportunity to find kills. Are they going to smoke up here? There is one on the Ogre.
The main difference in this game compared to other NiP games we've seen, though, especially the last one where they also had a good early game, is that this time around, I think their lineup just matches up better in the mid game against VPs than the last one. They have tools to team fight with very well, lots of AoE stuns, good burst damage, which is crucial to have against a Lesh who really takes advantage of fights where the damage is dealt slowly. He will just out-damage you easily. But of course, between Laguna Blade and maybe a multicast Fire Blast somewhere down the line, they could pretty much kill Lesh from full health, just the 2 heroes. And you always have the backup Fissure, and of course, Glimpse into Static Storm is very good against all of VP's heroes. So I have higher hopes for NiP in this game. But I still think what they need to accomplish now is they need to get Jonas into a comfortable position. He's level 5, which is fine, minute 8. But his farm is abysmally low, and you will need this Blink Dagger on Shaker to fight in the mid game effectively, I think. FNG gonna try for the cliff again. This time it is gonna work. And Limp will have to
TP out.
pour it out
Yeah.
as they guard the haste rune for him. So they will let him run up there and take it again. Basically ports his 500 range away from a rune.
Top lane.
Ports away and gets it again.
There's a glimpse and there's a kinetic field as well. FNG will go down as a result. Era's going to pick up the kill this time. There's a haste rune as well. I think Era's and the rest of his team's going to look to pressure this tier 1 tower. And slowly NiP is having a good grip on this early game. But like you said, if you look at the graphs, it's actually Virtus.pro still leading on the farm chart. Johannes Van, I think, should just stay mid for a bit now and just CS.
I think that is the plan as well here, is the rest of the team will try to claim the top tower by just having Era solo attack it, but having the backup from the right-hand side. I believe VP are aware of this, however, and they might just run into them as Hanskin. He's in a lot of trouble.
Well, I mean, they don't have Static Storm right now. Lina's gonna come and call down though. We'll hit on 2. Laguna Blade brings down the Darkseer instantaneously on the back line. She in a lot of trouble. Era's very low, but can he run away? Soul Assumption. Oh, the Fissure blocks it off. Little's gonna get burned down by the Lina. Are they done yet? Limp's gonna have cooldown on Dragon Slave, and he should be able to get the kill. There you go. No juke spot in there. Double kill for Limp. 4 kills towards NiP, and they've only lost a support. Huge play, and they got a tier 1 tower top as well. Can you ask for a better early game for NiP?
That was a really good rotation. They brought all 5 heroes up there at the right time, and the call down from Era, of course, really, really good when it was needed the most. Surprised Illidan didn't pour it, to be honest. On the Razor, I think he definitely had the possibility of coming in and assisting there. A lot of the NiP heroes were very low, but he stuck to bottom lane, trying to get the tier 1 tower, hoping that maybe his team could disengage. NiP with a big win there, about a 2k net worth and only 750 experience. What the?
Yeah,
that's very little experience they managed to gain from that.
Hanskin on the local. Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, if a Razor TP in and the Plasma Field alone would have done a lot, and because everybody was so low, the Idol Storm would have cleaned them up as well. But I think the reason that NiP got such a good fight was thanks to a very deep ward. They saw the rotation from Virtus.pro and really heavily punished them for it.
And just a moment ago, we saw G getting, I believe, a solo kill on Jonas Sampan in the mid lane.
So G as expected, right? Even though getting ganked and...
He's got a decent game.
Yeah.
For sure. He's 3-2-2. He's 57 CS.
He is indeed 3-2-2.
Razor's skill build is 3-2-2. You know.
How much 3-2-2 can we also find in this game?
Sorry. It's a tick I have sometimes.
All right, so Hanskin looks like he's looking for
Transition.
I mean, dude, how did I follow up on that? Should I just follow up as what does dank Mei mean? Like I don't know what.
It's good. We're not going into that explanation.
All right, Limp, Yule Scepter is going to be online in about 400 gold, and that's where she will begin getting solo kills. But the question I have is, what do you go after that? Because there's a good digression of getting a Shadow Blade, which we saw a Rise doing it the last time we saw Lina, or is the Aghanims just simply better?
I think Aghs is going to be a key item in this game where it's fairly straightforward that both G and, of course, Illidan will be getting BKB somewhere down the line. The question is if the timing is right. If he gets the Aghs before they have BKB, it might not be as valuable as a Shadow Blade, so it's possible he wants to try to get the Aghs around the time when the BKB start coming out. And Shadow Blade could definitely be a nice build-up in this game as well. FNG with a really nice smoke break here. You're going to pour it out. Nicely played.
Now, what about the defensive aspects of just having more health? Which, against Soul Assumption, against a Leshrac, that might be also another reason for Lim to actually go Aghs instead of Shadow Blade. Or you're not sold on that. I guess if you're playing Shadow Blade, you're kind of in the outskirts of the fight anyways.
Yeah, the Blink could definitely be nice too. Do we actually see that often right now?
Blink Lina?
Yeah. After like the Yule's into Blink build, which pretty much picked up almost all the time. But recently I
haven't seen it at all recently.
I feel like we've seen more Aghs and more Shadow Blades, so...
Oh, looks like Tier 1 is going to get defended in the mid lane. They will have Glimpse available. It's a level 3 Glimpse, but Illidan's on the front line. He's actually hard to go into.
Oh, nice deny by Hanskin.
And they're going to get the stun on Storm Rage. And Storm Rage, well, he's actually very tanky. The Lightning Storm's on the back line. Echo Slam, the Fissure hits on perfectly. FNG in a lot of trouble as well. Johannes Fan, though, won't take the damage from G. He's just turning on the Pulse Nova, forcing these guys away. Limp in a lot of trouble as well. The haste stream from G. The Lightning is going to go on Limp. Yule Scepter will dodge the last hit, but actually, can she make it out? Called out on the back line here by Era. Hanskin's gonna get burned down by Pulse Nova, literally on the front with his teammate. Triple kill by G.
He actually prioritized chasing down the Disruptor over the Lina. That's very surprising. The moment he sees that Yule's come out, even if it surprises him that he didn't kill him with the attack,
he had a haste. He could have
easily pursued that. And now he might be in trouble, actually. G's gonna run straight into Era. Gets a nice split earth, though. Limp in position for the Slave. And they do get the kill. Goes on to Era, who's now 4-0.
Now Era's trying to slay one of these birds. Flacken. He is using it, and that's 100 gold.
You got one? Look at that stat.
Wait, what's the stat? I don't see it.
Average number of kills between 10 and 15 minutes. Virtus.pro 10. Other teams at DreamHack 3.4.
Here's the thing, though. NiP is leading the kills now in this game, so they're playing Virtus.pro's game, and they're playing it better.
Yep, absolutely. Got a lot out of their actives in this game. A lot of movements and a lot of powerful stuns, of course, and nukes.
Mid lane here as Odin driving deep. They have Glimpse available, but perhaps not the Glimpse we're looking for.
Yeah, he's going to be fine. Oh, maybe not. They'll try for him. I don't think this is going to work. They need to be careful.
Static Storm in a good position here. Lina misses the LSA as well. No, they'll back off, respecting those birds. G, though, getting surged up. He's looking for more. Look at how aggressive G is playing. He's only got 100 health in the face of things like multicast, which, by the way, is not up yet, as well as the Laguna Blade, which is the more dangerous nuke. And I think this is the bigger turning point in the game where the mech is finished for DK Phobos.
Yeah, they need the mech and they need the Bloodstone on G so he gets tanky. And then when he gets BKB, if the Aghs isn't up on Lina, he's going to be ridiculously hard to kill because Gyro, still a spread damage carry for all intents and purposes, and a lot of his damage is magical. So I really agree with Limp in this case actually going for the Ags. I think the timing of this is going to be the right one. G will have finished Bloodstone very soon, and then he will be building into the BKB, so he might have the Ags like say a minute or two before the BKB, which would be absolutely perfect for Limp here. As we're looking at a tower trade, possibly. NiP want the tier 1 mid. G will claim the top one, and they're starting to port in. Razor getting into position. Seal Kid ready for the flank.
Can they actually take this fight?
They're just going to get the tower for free, more or less. They had to use a glyph, but they hope.
I'm always surprised by how tanky Razor is, simply by just having a point booster. He's, I guess, with his passive alone, he's being able to ward off a lot of these heroes from NiP. But NiP is going to go for a flank on the side. Not sure if this is going to work, especially with the T1 tower still available to allow Virtus.pro to port in. And they'll back off.
And the split push will just commence here for VP. They're getting a little bit more out of the map right now than NiP, with farming both the top and the mid lane well, getting the tower for nothing. G staying up there, able to continue to farm, already up to Bloodstone plus 600. And if this goes right for VP, he might have the BKB first. And then if they take one good team fight, even if the Axe comes out after it, if he manages to get a big team fight win because of it, that could be enough to get him closer to his next item.
Nice from the back alive. Oh, Limp's back, but the burst stun will go onto Limp. I want to say that NiP has a positional disadvantage. FNG looking to initiate with a telekinesis. What did he steal? He stole a glimpse. He's going to use it immediately. They're going to go on Hanskin. Hanskin in a lot of trouble. The static storm being used. And now Illidan's stuck in there. The call down will hit, and Seal Kid knows he's dead, so might as well drop a couple of stuns. Meanwhile, Illidan just dropped down on the backline as well. G though, full health, full mana, going to work against Arrow. He's taking a ton of damage thanks to the Rocket Barrage. Man fight from Arrow. He will
multicast.
Yeah, he will get the kill there. The Bloodstone healing his allies up a little bit. Limp still has a Gunda Blade available, and looks like the Mango Burn, and the Bird's being summoned. Wow, what a return of burst damage from Little. Echo Slam on the backline. The Bird stun, it's going to help out a little bit. Johannes fan is going to eat the wall. The Fissure will get the kill. They're going to turn on Phobos. Enchant Totem trying to get the right click damage.
Oh, the solo!
The solo! The Iron Shell's doing so much damage. He's going to try to surge in. Juke from Seal Kid, not able to actually do it. So after that huge carnage, it was what, 4 for 4, I want to say? Because Hanskin just barely respawned.
Someone won that fight. They did well.
I mean, I guess both off lanes.
Both teams won the fight. Like,
Yeah.
one team got gold, the other got experience.
Well, I think Earthshaker...
Crazy fight.
Earthshaker picking up the blink is okay for NiP. Pretty good for NiP. And now
Absolutely, that is a key item for sure. So
You know-
that mine probably came out on top after all.
Are you surprised at all that drums was skipped on Gyro this game? It's a normally very standard item, and I feel like the extra movement speed in this game is very good against Leshrac. And
That is very true. I think, yeah, I'm not sure what the reasoning is. I think the early stats for Era could have been nice too, but it turns out he hasn't really needed the tankiness. He went straight for SNY. He's only died once with 6 kills and 3 assists, so it's definitely worked out very well for him. And the thing about skipping drums is if you manage, you improve your farm rate, because
yeah,
the farm rate you get out of it for its cost is really poor compared to getting straight into SNY, and it could end up being a really good choice later on, not having the drums.
so what's next for him? Is it we're gonna see a
BKB.
standard BKB? Yeah, okay. Ogre Club
Absolutely.
picked up immediately.
There is no other item that will do half as much as a BKB in this game against the Radiant.
Yeah, it depends on what they think the next couple minutes will be. If he thinks he could farm for a bit, I think maybe a Helm will be a little bit more effective in that, but you know this is Virtus.pro. They're taking the fight to you. So get that health item, get that BKB ready. And overall, you would say that NiP is actually leading this game, even the gold graph doesn't say so, right?
As far as game plan, I don't know. Like, when it comes to the scaling of these heroes, you know, Razor is not a good super late gamer, but he's gonna hit a really sweet spot around minute. We saw a similar game against Navi yesterday where he hit a really sweet spot around minute 30. So I don't want to say that the Razor is gonna fall off until, let's say, like minute 50 or 60 is when he's gonna start becoming really weak compared to other carries, such as the Gyro. So you're looking at a Lesh and Razor who are farming well. On the other side, you've got a Lina and Gyro farming well. And they kind of, in a way, provide the same sort of team fight. Good spread damage with some heavy single target. And then the wild card for me is how impactful is the Shaker going to be compared to Darkseer? Those are the ones to really compare as well. And
Yeah, I agree. And on the 30-minute mark, I think that's where heroes like Disruptor and Ogre start to fall off a little bit. Whereas the stuns from Rubik, for example, will still always be good. Leshrac will still be, or sorry, not Leshrac, the Visage will still be very good.
Visage will scale better than both supports on NiP, unless the Ogre gets a fast Ags, which it's Seal Kid, so he won't, because they never give Seal Kid farm.
He got a Midas just.
Poor Seal Kid.
He's got a point booster this game.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's above average for him, I think. They just never give him any farming priority. You know, if I'm NiP right now, Jonas doesn't farm this camp. Like, you give this to Seal Kid. Jonas got his Blink. The Ag Scepter on Seal Kid, I think, is more relevant than the Force Staff that Jonas is farming for, but it's just not the way they play the game as a team. And I think it's one of their problems in some of their games is that their supports just end up getting too poor. In this game, they're even with the enemy supports. I've just got this feeling Visage is going to pull ahead, because they let Lil get more.
Oh, Limp in a lot of trouble now. FNG looking for the lift. He will find it. Will the stun land? He immediate self-heals as well as being backed up by Sackstorm, but the bird drops are waiting for him, and she'll get burned up immediately. 3-man Echo, 3-man Fissure will be able to enchant Totem. He has no mana left, and now Johannes Fan in a lot of trouble. G walking in, vacuum hits on 2. Buyback from Limpa. Is he gonna die back? He just died back. On the back line, Era trying to do the damage he can. He will burn down the Darkseer, and so will take down the Little. Glimpse back right now, and they will burn down G as well. Triple kill for Era.
All right, going for a suicide.
Oh, not triple kill.
And we'll get it, but still, he dies.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that I don't feel like that's worth it for NiP at all. They bought back their Lina, which I think was necessary for the team fight to get this outcome, since if nothing else, it baited out some spells from VP to bring her down or force them out. And
G is very sick. And I don't think it's I think literally he's very sick.
Not the wicked kind of sick.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll feel better.
Take a moment for him to recover. Hopefully nothing that's gonna.
From his play this game, he didn't look sick. He looked like he's wicked sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having a little bit of a tough time. But you were saying that the Lina buyback, even though she died back, it was necessary for Era to get that impact.
The fight would have had a different outcome, because I think if he doesn't buy back there, they kill Lina, they kill the Shaker, and they just back. But instead, her buyback forced them to turn and try to fight again, else she would run them down with Yules. And ultimately, it gives Era a good flank play, together with the Ogre as well from Seal Kid, and of course Hanskin with a good glimpse, ensuring that Lesh has to suicide at the end.
The Shaker, though, getting the 3-man Echoes, the big turnaround for them. And even though I do agree with you, the Ogre Agonist will be a bigger impact item, I think he would like a Force Staff just to boost his mana a little bit. You saw him, he echoed, he Fissure, and then it was like, okay, I don't have mana for Enchant Totem. And he just straight up died afterwards, so.
How did he lose all his mana, though?
I don't think he was full mana.
He couldn't have been. There's no mana burn.
And he had to TP into the fight as well, so.
Yeah.
Shaker not exactly known for his big mana pool. But I think after that fight and the next 30 seconds of farm that Era's going to get, he will have the BKB for the next one. And I think that's where Virtus.pro might have a little bit trouble against this hero.
Absolutely. That's a key BKB. I think Lesh is actually going to get his first, though. And he's going to have it before the Lina Axe. We talked about how this interaction is going to be important for the outcome of the game. And with that dieback from Lina, Limp is 2,000 away from from the Axe.
Yeah.
In comparison, Lesh only 600 from the BKB, with Ogre Club as well as 2,300 here. And I don't see NiP killing Leshrac during his BKB without Axe Laguna. It's just not going to happen. So we might be in a similar situation to the last game where he had the Bristleback and NiP did not have the tools. This time it's going to be a Lesh, which is arguably even scarier. But hopefully for them, they will be able to grab the Ags in a fairly reasonable time, maybe within the next 4 minutes, perhaps, for Limp. Should be good enough.
I could see this game where she never gets axed, where if the fight gets taken to NiP and she just keeps dying.
Yeah,
she is very frail. There's a ton of burst damage on the side, and hopefully for the sake of G, he's feeling a little bit better. Looks like they are resuming and continue to play.
Top lane is being pinged out by FNG. Guess he wants them to push it out, or just saying, all right, guys, there's going to be farm up here in about 30 seconds. There's a wave pushing our way. So make sure you go claim that. Looks like Illidan will be taking care of business. Who, by the way, has a very low net worth, actually, relative to being the safe laner. Minute 21, he only has a net worth of 7k.
Remember when he had 30 denies?
Yeah,
or whatever?
He had a great start in terms of CS, but
which, by the way,
impact hasn't been that high yet.
You and Andy were talking about this casual Ring of Health.
Yeah, he's doing the same thing.
Yeah, he just does it. Any thoughts on, Is the regen in the mid game that necessary?
I don't.
It's
I
a
don't
nice thing to
understand.
have.
Am I missing something really obvious with why this ring is good? Like, casual ring, I feel like it's generally a thing of the past, apart from when you really need it for your lane. But both games, this game he's against a Shaker, which is a super easy lane for him.
Right.
And the other game he was against, I can't remember, another hero that couldn't pressure him at all. That was also an easy lane.
You can make the
It's a
argument that
little weird.
Soul Ring is even just better, just for having the extra mana to farm.
Does it allow him to jungle, maybe, a bit better? So he can rotate into the jungle, take some more camps without going low, and then ultimately, later on, he transitions the Ring of Health into the Refresher anyway.
I think that's what he did yesterday against Navi.
Yeah, he did that build.
Yeah.
So the question is if he gets the ring just to jungle. Like,
Well, the
then
thing
it
is,
makes a bit of sense.
I would make the argument that Soul Ring lets you jungle faster, just having extra mana to plasma multiple camps
Yeah, you
at
could
once.
do that then. But then that doesn't build into the Refresher.
Exactly.
So you need to keep the math in mind on how
Yeah.
much gold you get back, etc. And
Just I mean, Illidan's the guy who also doesn't skill Fire Breath on DK. Like he's definitely an innovator in his own right.
yeah.
This used to happen, by the way. He now skills it because Fire Breath is much better.
I think that is the skill build in all of Dota 2 history I've seen that I had disagreed with the absolute most. Was the no breathe fire Dragon Knight. I could not get my head around how that would be useful.
You have a higher stun on your Dragon Tail. One of the worst scaling stun.
Like I understand the idea, but it's just not a good idea. It's just how it is. All right. Well, anyway, we're gonna look for perhaps a smoke here. Illidan has expended his ultimate to farm the Ancients, as smoke will be grabbed for FNG.
And that's the BKB. That's the key timing they're looking for.
I saw 2 axe components on the courier, so
It's Racers, I
Illidan
believe.
almost has it.
Yeah. I think they're waiting for that to finish before they go for that smoke. Or at least I think they should.
Yeah, I would agree. They might as well get another key item. They got the Blink Dagger on Darkseer now, which is definitely a key item. Speaking of that, BKB on the Gyro, as well as a double damage. I think NiP will be hungry for a fight here when they have those 2 surprises at once. They're going to bait with Era by the looks of it. He's going to be pushing out bottom with Black Cannon first.
Did Era always had a Baldo? Or did he just buy it?
I think he had it.
Okay.
Dire's middle tower
All right,
is
well,
under
the
attack.
rest of NiP is smoke behind this Gyrocopter. Let's see if it's obvious enough for BP to spot out. Looks like they're also looking to group up and smoke as well.
This is a big fight. And it's really going to come down to who scouts each other out.
Illidan's
If,
at half HP.
Era's pretty far away. He's even walking through Radiant Wards. All right, they're going to find FNG.
And
he
he-
gets the lift off first, though.
They have glimpse available. He gets a
Stolen
fissure off as well.
fissure.
Okay, are they going to glimpse him back? That's the question. They glimpse him back. Can they burst him down quickly? Multicast on 2 fissures. Going to be there as well. The mech kills him up a little bit, but here's the call down. Is he going to BKB double damage? No, he's already used the double damage. Vacuum onto 2. It looks like Sealkey in a lot of trouble. He get burned down by a soul assumption. BKB Era on the front line. That dispels the double damage, so it's not hitting for nearly as hard. The Birds gets resummoned, and that will drive Era away. On the back line, Lina trying to do a little bit of AoE nuking, but seems like NiP will back off, and I think VP dodged a big bullet.
That was a really important disengage fissure from Jonas Samfan. They would have probably been able to run down 2 or 3 additional kills, or at least 1 there, but he cut them off and stopped the fight. Like you said, Era using, not getting much out of his double damage rune, of course, as well as G with Edict. He's not scared of running into Era still, because when he has BKB on, I think he still wins the man fight.
With the Edict.
With Edict on,
Yeah.
Edict level 4, they also have a medallion on the Visage that they put on Era, increasing the Edict damage quite a bit. So,
I mean, if you look at base damage on G, he actually right-clicks not too far behind from the Gyrocopter as well. So Gyro will pick up a Helmet Dominator. Definitely needs the extra armor. That
oh yeah, by the way, I do believe someone in chat pointed out, Jonas, I think he whiffed the Echo entirely. He might have been cancelled by some sort of, maybe a plasma field hitting
yeah.
him in the periphery, or maybe a bird got onto him or something, or Soul Assumption could have stopped him. But that is a very good point as well, that if they get a better Echo Slam, or get an Echo Slam at all, that fight could have had a very different outcome.
The impressive thing to me is like FNG as a Rubik 900 health didn't die. Just the stolen
Yes.
fissure, the great telekinesis, his team bailing out
And
with
it's
the mech.
huge that he still has
Yeah.
it. That's the biggest part of it. Like, it's one thing if he dies in the fight, but it's the impact he can have in the up-and-coming fight right now. They have Vacuum, they have Wall, and they have the Fissure that NiP might not be considering right now. And if they just walk in, if they try to backstab them and they don't get a kill immediately, this could... they could get absolutely destroyed, like 4-0'd. in this
Yeah.
fight if they don't get the right jump.
I mean, they're fighting in the forest where a fissure plus the trees could do a lot. Looks like they're gonna run into each other. Plasma field. He's clearing out.
They need to find G.
Oh, they use him up, but Limp though, he's in large trouble. Call down on the back line. The fissure, I can't tell which one it was. Storm Rage is gonna get glimpsed back. He doesn't have the BKB. He's
That's
actually
the better Echo though.
Yep, it's gonna hit on the back line. Now Eric clings down on the Razor as well. G on the run, he pops the BKB. The birds are doing a lot of physical damage. The right click from Limp, they're gonna kill G. G denies himself. In the front, Little's gonna get brought down here by Johannes Fan as well. That's a team wipe from NiP, losing 1 and getting 5. Are they gonna go into Roshan? It seems so.
Yeah, I was worried for NiP when they tried to go for that backstab that they were going to go in as one group and just get cut off by a fissure into vac wall, but instead they found a really good flank angle where only one was exposed. They bait out the fissure from FNG, which has minimal impact as a result, and all of a sudden the fight kind of breaks into two, where NiP's lineup is just really good, and this time Jonas delivering on the Echo Slam, giving them 5 kills and a Roche. That's big.
Yeah, and I think the big factor is that Razor is just not tanky enough. I mean, he's got a ton of health in the front line, but he just needs some magic resist or magic immunity from a BKB. And I think that has to be his next item of choice.
Aegis gonna be grabbed. There is another key item coming out here for the Shaker. He will be grabbing his Glimmer Cape. Does have the mana pool for it. We talked about his mana issues earlier, but since he already has Arcanes and Force Staff, he should be all right.
Yeah.
There you go.
And also the key thing is that Limp now has an Aghanim, so
Absolutely.
even G is going to have a little bit of trouble surviving. Speaking of G, he has a Vitality Booster
I think he's building hard.
and a Plate Mail.
Yeah, this is a really nice build-up. You know, when you think about how Lina generally deals with cores in the mid-late game with the Laguna Axe, you tend to think, let's say a hero like Anti-Mage, he just really struggles because he loses such a big part of his health pool, but if you look over the damage of NiP, you can't really itemize against the Laguna Blade with anything else than raw health, or a Linken's, but the Linken's will probably be broken by something else, right?
Right.
So just really tanking up hard on health is the best counter to the Axe Laguna for the Lesh, and he's a hero who doesn't sacrifice too much damage output from getting the heart. Like, tanking up on Lesh indirectly gives you damage because you just aren't afraid of staying in the fight and don't have to reset as much.
Is there any other possibility?
It could be a run of Atos. I don't think so.
I think it's a bit too late for a lot of Atos. What about Octarine Core? It doesn't
It could
really
be Octarine.
help.
That's a good point. That's probably...
The lightning spam could be pretty nice.
Let's see, how much health is it Octarine gives? It gives 450 health.
Compared
and
to
the
about
heart, the heart gives about, what is it?
1,000, I think. Over 1,000.
Heart gives 300 plus 40 times 19. So it's like...
That's a lot.
That's... I mean, let me think.
All right.
Yeah, that's over 1,000. It's like 1,000, 1,060 or something.
Tower is under attack.
So yeah, we'll see what he needs, what he feels like he needs. T2 looks like it's not going to get defended here by NiP. Hard to defend against Illidan on the ultimate. Oh, I say that everybody's teleporting in. They're going to focus on Illidan again. Laguna Blade brings him down low.
That's a
It's a vacuum wall on everyone. Well, 3. But Era on the back line, he's just unchallenged. Little taking a ton of damage. Echo Slam on 1. Fissure onto 2. DK Phobos on the run, but G still wants to fight. He has yet another haste ring. Yule Scepter, though, will actually mess up the surge. LSA will hit on DK Phobos as well. Era is going to pop that Aegis, but I think they're going to bring down DK Phobos as a result. G trying to fight on the front, but another fissure thanks to the sneakiness of that Glimmer Cape, and they will get another 4 for 3 exchange. Not the best exchange for NiP, but still advantageous one for them. And the Swedes looking like they are going to take the game too, or at least having a huge advantage in this one.
Yeah, they are finally starting to really pull ahead now with these couple of fights. Experience easily favoring them now by quite a bit here. Almost a 10,000 lead. The gold only 5k though. But it's really important in every single fight that NiP are taking right now that Shaker is unaccounted for. Jonas is doing so much work every single time with well-placed fissures. This time I think it's again a 2-man Echo Slam. You don't need to go for that insane wombo like 3 or 4 hero one. If you just get 2 really key targets out, even if they don't die, just the duration of the lockdown is enough to get a lot of space for Era and of course Limp to deal the other damage that they need to put out. I'm really feeling this game, the Razor has not worked for VP the way they wanted, and he has to be able to grab a big item so that he can become a factor in the fight. He's kind of a liability right now in the 1 position. That's really not what you want to see out of a Razor.
Would have been a lot different if he had a BKB instead
Absolutely.
Well, the thing is, there's still the Lina.
Yes, but his health pool I think is high enough that even if he tanks the Laguna, between the mech and his wand, he is probably going to be At least then he takes the Laguna, right? Even if nothing else
Oh,
happens, he takes...
he's been tanking the Laguna.
Oh, did he take that fight as well? Okay,
Yeah,
so...
I think that's what Limp is like. You know what? You're just tanking the Laguna every single fight.
Alternatively, he could get a heart then, if that's the path that it's going down here. But he definitely needs some sort of way to provide more of a... to output more pressure in fights as... Oh, there is the Atos used on the Lina. It's going to get back walled. Only one hero, though. Sealkid's in a lot of trouble here. Where is the Shaker? No echo for another second. Has it now?
Yeah, they're going to fight right now. Arab turning on BKB, going to Little. He knows he also does a ton of damage on the front line. Self-heals here from Lina. Where's the Echo? No Echo. Echo comes a little bit late. G with a BKB blocks most of it. DK Fobo still tanking up on the front line. Arab BKB ends, so he might be a little bit vulnerable. Tower kills on the Darkseer. 3 for 3. Era's still alive. Not sure whether NiP should hold this tier 2 because it's just not worth the fight. Here comes the Lightning Storm.
Oh, good force staff from Hanskin. Breaking the telekinesis. They will get the tower, however. Is he thinking about the glimpse play here? He is.
He's out of mana. G is, well, gonna be dead because there's a Daedalus on Era. Deni's gonna come out. Yeah, another one on that Leshrac, and that Bloodstone is dwindling quite quickly.
Overall, still a one fight here for VP. They get a bit more. This recap is not really representative anymore. But if you look at the graph, you'll see the story. They got the better kills. They got the tower as well. And well, this is a very, very close game so far. Now, Era is really starting to pull ahead.
Yeah, it's a close game, except every fight Era survives, and G, as well as Illidan, has been dying.
Yes.
So the item progression halts for the other two, and you know, Daedalus, I imagine perhaps Butterfly or some sort of item that gives him more health a little bit later on as well. Era is just not unaccounted for because he's in your face the whole time, but perhaps undealable now at this point.
Yep.
I think Satanic is probably the next item choice, and honestly, how do you deal with a Satanic Gyrocopter?
I think Butterfly might be better. I don't know if he needs to tank up right now. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't seem like his problem is dying. It's more about just being able to keep laying into targets and being mobile. And of course, he can use the Flutter. In this game, there's not too many auto attacks that are a problem for him, so you could argue that he doesn't really benefit that much from the evasion in that case, but still, just for damage output and general mobility, Butterfly is nice.
That's true.
Alternatively, MKB is a potential item, and, well, if you wanted to take that route, you could even see a Scotty, which we've seen Gyros get quite a bit in the past.
I think MKB is not bad, because there is a possibility that Visage will upgrade that Medallion to Solar Crest,
Yes.
which can cut down the damage from NiP quite a bit, but one thing I also want to point out is that Gyrocopter just goes on the Visage hard at the beginning of the fight. And you know, preventing that 4-second slow assumption.
Oh, Jonas! Tried to be cute. Got cut.
Get picked off. They might go for a tier 2 off of this. And I don't think NiP should fight. They're very dependent of having a good echo.
Yeah, this is 70 seconds. That's tier 2. If VP are aware, they could actually high ground. I think the Shaker is such an important part of NiP's teamfight that they might be able to make it. On second thought, however, maybe not able to because they don't have the BKB on the Razor still. But he's definitely going to be popping his ultimate if they go for the tier 3. They're going to just edict down this tower for now. Glyph being saved by NiP. I think it's the right call. Save it for the high ground. Try to bait them up there. Teleport coming in from Hanskin.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you want to go into this high ground where there's Kinetic Field, Static Storm, Call Down. It's just a very good choco. Sealkid, gotta be careful. He's on the front line. Blink into lift into a Burst Stun. Sealkid in a lot of trouble. Where's those defensive force staff? He gets pushed away. He's fine for now. G going forward though. Back wall into 3. They need to activate their BKB right now. Era flagging away. Limp dies. G will follow as well. It's a 4 for 2. I'm not sure VP could continue to push. Soul Assumption though will drive Era away. In fact, is he gonna die to the supports? He wants to go back in, but the Birds is gonna bring him down. Double buyback coming out from Limp. G though, he buys back. He breaches travel back in, and he's fresh. He's got a ton of health, a ton of mana. Limp, is it gonna be a dieback? Self-fuels, and the Iron Shell will burn her down.
This looks like
really
miscommunication from NiP. They're buying back the Lina, and she goes in and dies, and then they buy back Era. They need to go in at the same time as now Jonas gonna be delivering a decent angle, but what a back stun! They're gonna get, if Era dies, it's game!
Yeah, Era trying to regen for whatever he can. Maybe he needed to be tankier. Satanic Recipe, well, not doing too good now. That's dead for 2 minutes. G, well, he's trying to burn down this melee.
They just lost a game they were leading in literally 1 minute and 30 seconds, I think.
Well, it ain't over yet, as Virtus.pro backs off.
Oh, that is... Yeah, they might actually not be able to get Rex. They still have 100 seconds. Like, their heroes are going to respawn. They could just walk top and take the melee Rex for free, I think. They know it was a dieback from Era.
And also Limp, I want to
Wow.
say. Did she also die back? I think so.
He did.
Yeah.
His buybacks and especially his teleport positions when he buys back have been very questionable in this game. Twice now he's bought back. And it's not just that he buys back and dies, but it's the way he goes in and dies very, very aggressively, overestimating his own ability in those situations with what he has to use. He only has a Yule's Axe. He's not a superhero right now.
The way that he's playing, I thought he had a BKB. Because you wouldn't make that play if you didn't have the BKB.
Yeah, then you can go for a play like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely not the case there. What a big win for VP that fight was.
Well, VP is not
Now
going to...
the graphs are updating, by the way.
Which is 10k go swing. Not something that we see too often in Dota after one fight, especially in 6.84. But Virtus.pro, you could make the argument they're sort of back in it. Or we just say this game is complete even now. I still think that NiP
Virtus
wins
are
fights.
leading by quite a bit.
Oh, with the BKB now finished on the Razor, that changes things a lot.
The Satanic on Gyro could help. He did it up to go for the Satanic, and as it showed in the last fight, he does need the tank ability after all, so I think it's fine. I thought they were going to be able to take a little bit better fights and wouldn't need it, but at this point he will definitely need it. The question is, can he deal enough? Like, the Daedalus is obviously very good for the main target you're laying into, but how much is he really hitting the others for? Do they have Vlads? Do they have AC on the Radiant? Looks like neither, so at least that's decent for Era, but they still have high armor. Lesh has 22. Visage, of course, has a lot when the Gravekeeper's Cloak is available. Razor on 13. Darkseer 27. And even Rubik has... Okay, 4. He will die.
Yeah.
To Flat Cannon. But he has a Shadow Amulet, so maybe he can even kite it. This very farmed Gyro does not seem like he is enough of a threat right now. And NiP just conceding the entire map control right now. VP are just controlling. NiP are not showing on any lanes.
Can you make the argument that, especially against a hero like Leshrac, it's more important to outlast him than to kill them straight right? And I guess that's what the Satanic is for.
Yeah, well, it's obviously what he feels like he needs to do. The question is if he can get double Flat Cannon as a result, because I think it's going to be the first Flat Cannon anyway that gets the vast majority of his, that's his vast majority of impact in the fight. So he's got like a 15-second downtime, and they need to plan out the fight so that he precasts Flak before it begins, he gets the attacks off, and gets it soon enough that they can take a secondary. Else the Satanic, sure, it's going to keep him alive, but how much of a threat does he pose when the Flak is down? Not so much.
Well, Virtus.pro saw the...
They have read this entirely.
They saw the call down being used in the Roshan pit with the birds, so they're like, yeah, we're going to go the high ground right now. And tier 3 is going to get dropped, but they'll back off. Very patient play from Virtus.pro, and are they going to get any like stray kills here? NiP.
They saw him.
Era doesn't have a TP.
They did see him, but I don't think they can catch up. He is bloodlusted, has backup.
He's stranded though.
Kind of in an awkward position, but this could end up working out really well for NiP since they will come for an unexpected angle here with a flank play, perhaps.
Oh,
maybe
the
a two-front fight, but it's Hanskin that's going to be opened on first.
He forced that away. Okay. Is there a glimpse still of any sort? No, he has.
Still Thunderstrike on FNG. He's going to get glimpsed now.
Well, FNG's got Glimmer Cape. Do they have damage output? Yeah, they definitely do. The 5 support. Oh, now Era getting his damage rain. He really needs to get away. The back only hits on 1. Era losing a ton of his damage, and now Illidan on the front line with this BKB just going hard. On the back, G in a lot of trouble. Looks like there's a chase on Steel Kid. Steel Kid's gonna get burned down by a Soul Assumption, and Era still stranded out there. Echo Slam onto G, but where's the damage output? Era now joins back in. Rocket Barrage will be his damage, but is it enough? He's taking a lot. He doesn't have the Satanic yet. G finally will go down to Limp. Limp gets stunned up. Self Yules brings him back up in the air, but Illidan, he's still at full health, and he's doing so much damage. Virtus.pro wins yet another fight right outside of the base. Shaker on the back line. He blinks away. Can he TP away? He will. Vac is going to cancel the TP. Johannafan in a lot of trouble. Does those birds have stun? Glimmer Cape? Okay, there's no detection, but he's still stuck out there because he doesn't have TP.
They probably just go and push the bot lane when the Lesh comes back. They have 30 seconds. They know Shaker's in the middle of no. Actually, all right, fight's going to break out. Gonna use the wall. It's going to miss. And now the birds are trying to flank. His blink is still on cooldown. Does have Force Staff, however. Second drop is also going to miss.
But all this time, look at mid lane.
But yeah, there's the one lane of Rax. They could probably go top as well. They know there's 50 seconds. Or they could go for the greedier play and try to get the bottom lane, including the tier 3 here. Lesh is up in 10. Gyro, 40 seconds. They know there's no Echo Slam.
Oh, Shaker can't die here. Plasma Field, he Force Staff takes the extra bit of damage, but he will be okay. There's the Butcher Travel purchase on the dark side. It looks like he's going to rejoin the fight alongside G. There's just way too much damage output. Glyph is going to get forced out. This is going to be the last hurrah for NiP. They need to win this fight, or at least delay till Gyro comes back. Fissure is going to hit on about a lot of people, but Seal Kit, though, in a lot of trouble. G's going around, and the burst stuns, they both hit. Seal Kit is dead. He doesn't have buyback. On the back line, the Raxes are fully breached. There's the range Rax is going to go down. There's one Rax left for NiP. Is the VP going to go for it? They're picking it out. They want it.
They've got plenty of time. There's 40 seconds on Ogre. Even though Gyro responds in a moment, he still needs to move over there. And even the time it takes him to just get into the fight, they've lost the half of the racks already.
Echo in 5.
Yeah, it is this Echo has to be monstrous, and it's pretty good at least. They got Illidan down very low. He will fall here to Era's right click. He's going to run down FNG as well. Nice Glimmer Cape though, as this tower, or the racks rather, G trying for it. Won't get it by the birds. It's Megas. Stolen Echo doing nothing.
Yeah, FNG will die here as a result as well. DK Phobos is fine. No, he gets glimpsed back. His BKB is down. Let's see if they can bring him down. He just straight up runs away. LSA will miss as a result, but he runs into the crevice of the fissure. DK Phobo dies also, but unless NiP buys Divine here, I don't see them winning this game.
I think with a Divine, I also don't see them winning this game.
Well, they increase the chance.
If he buys Satanic now, I think that's a big mistake. That is not good.
He sells it. He sells everything.
There's no other play. Let's do it.
I like it. Now, do you go down mid?
Yeah, it's the YOLO play. They have no other choices. We're going to see a pause from VP. Sorry, 1 sec. Now, do they have any boots of travel on NiP's side? Because if they don't, this push is actually going to be 4 and 5. They can't let their base just get sieged by creeps. They're going to be clearing it out too fast. The bottom and top lanes are already pushing in. The big creeps are on the way.
No, nobody has it.
So it's a 4 and 5 in the enemy base, with the enemy having buybacks on 2 out of 3 cores.
Well,
that's a tall
order. 2 of the more important cores, right? Leshrac and Razor.
Oh, they're just going. They're going to go for the 5 on 5, which means VP, all they need to do is just hold. If they can just delay and not let the fight break out.
There's a lot of buildings left on NiP. They could do this. The alternate play is they could just go for a base race because they have multiple Butcher Travel, but Leshrac just used his. It's on cooldown for 30 seconds. Looks like he did pick up that Octarine core. Oh, no. Yeah, Lesh is not the same as Razor. Excuse me. Razor.
NiP have to get back very soon. Like, you should not underestimate these mega creeps, how much damage they're doing.
Wait. Illidan just bought items. He's out of buyback right now.
What'd he get? He finished his Perseverance?
Dire's middle tower.
Value!
No. I think he got the refresher recipe as well. But
oh, I see.
Yeah, hold that thought. Now the fight is going to break out on the high ground. Look at top lane here. Leshrac is going for a vac. Fissure from the Rubik. They're going to try to burn down DK Phobos, taking a ton of damage. Okay, he just walks out. It seems like the Divine is not enough. The base race is going to happen right now. Echo Slam, not really doing that much because he got the BKB. He's just going right clicks on the throne. He stuns onto 2, but they got the BKB limp. Now using his BKB, going on G. G is gonna die, question mark? No, he's just biding time. Offensive yield here from Limp. LSA will land as a result, but he's got buyback, I believe.
He's gonna buy back important on the siege creep. They're gonna have to stop him right now. Darkseer is there as well.
Era, can he lifesteal? No, he actually sold his hell, remember? So he doesn't have lifesteal. He's just really stuck out there. The TPs are going in for the throne. Johannes fan, huge trouble, and the throne just dies. The base race from Virtus.pro, the decision making, and more just clutching the game away from NiP, because this was NiP's game, right?
Well, I think I never had the feeling in that game that NiP were in such a comfortable position that they were leading enough that you would say they should have definitely won that game. But they're improving more with every series. Now the problem is they gotta win 3 in a row. Like, they're getting better against VP every single game. I feel like they're the ones getting the most out of these games. But it might just be too late in the tournament for that to happen now. If they got to do a hat trick now to be able to pull it back. But
here's the thing, though.
Their decision making on buybacks and their teamwork inside their own base was really not good. The Lina buys back, she ports in, she dies, then they buy back Gyro. They need to buy back together, move in, or neither of them buys back and they concede the racks. But weren't entirely on the same page in that situation and ended up costing them so much that fight.
The aspect of the game that I thought they did extremely well, they controlled the early game. They never let up their pressure. The buyback did hurt Lina's item progression a bit, but still, they got the picks where they needed. In a team fight, where they had really good focus on the Razor. Razor was the first one to die every single fight, and it was 2-3 fights in a row where the Razor dies, Era survives. G dies and Arrow survives, and because of that item difference, G was so big. I love the late game item decision making in terms of going for the Divine, because that was the only play.
Yeah,
it did not
definitely.
work out, but it shows that they have class even in this desperate situation. It's a tough order to reverse all kill, but NiP is showing a lot more hope and potential now than yesterday. If you asked me yesterday if they could reverse all kill VP, I would say not a chance.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. They are a team that I think have the right mentality to be able to pull back. I don't think they're going to go on full tilt, and they can definitely do it. But, you know, realistically, 3 games in a row against a team that has come back against you twice after you did a good early game, not good odds.
All right, we'll see if NiP could do it.
Maybe they do it.
Yeah, maybe they can. They are in front of their home crowd facing elimination. But before we go into Game 3, we'll go into a short break, and we'll be back with the analyst desk.